العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Now that we get to the last part of Ramadan, and if you take Ramadan into three sections, the first, this is where everybody has their zeal, mashallah. Then we can call the hump. This is the middle where everybody dips. May Allah protect us all. And then the last where everybody gets their energy back. Why? Because the last part of Ramadan contains a very special night. And every one of you knows about this night, Laylatul Qadr. But when is Laylatul Qadr? What is Laylatul Qadr really about? Many of us don't really know. Now what I did, I wrote down, and we did a tafseer of some parts of the Quran before, and a very deep tafseer from 20 books of tafsir on Laylatul Qadr and the Surah Al-Qadr and other surahs in the Quran. But I will summarize a little bit for our benefit, because this is something on hand now. فقال سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر. Inna, what is inna? If you just have alif noon bil shadda, this is tawqeed. When you have the alif after it, this is inna and ana put together. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing, first thing, telling you pay attention, this is something with tawqeed, emphasis, and He's telling you that it is us. This is the na in the end, is a damir pointing back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you will see extra damair here. And why? Because that should tell you that the Quran is not from anybody but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. With emphasis, no part of the Quran, not a harf, nothing is from anybody else. Anzalnahu, we revealed. But it could have been nazzalnahu, bil shadda al za. And what is the difference? As the Darwish in his tafsir of Quran, he says, Anzalnahu, when something is sent or given or taken down in one shot, straight. Nazzalnahu, when something is brought over a period of time. And the linguistic meaning. So, Inna anzalnahu fi Laylatul Qadr. We sent it in Laylatul Qadr. What is the who? What is the damir pointing to? The Quran. And this is from balagha, from the eloquence of speech, that it didn't say, Inna anzalna al-Quran fi Laylatul Qadr. Why? Because this is the furqan, the differentiation between right and wrong, that the fight is about, between haqq and batil. So we know it's the Quran, and the kuffar know it's the Quran. Tell you, but it says we revealed the Quran in Laylatul Qadr. And we know from durus and halaqat and kutub that the Quran was revealed in how many years? 23 years across the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after Nabuwah at the age of 40 till his death sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But here the Quran tells us that we revealed the whole Quran in one night, in one shot. Now many of you in your mind, mashallah, the tafsir clogs are moving and you're making your own tafsir. But I warn you, the Quran is not for me and you to make tafsir of. Rather, we go back to the nusus. And here we have a clear, sahih narration from Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, the one that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam made dua for him to have understanding of the Quran, of the way. As Imam al-Tabari mentions in his tafsir with the sahih sanad, Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma says that the Quran was revealed in three stages. The first, from Allah to Luh al-Mahfuz. The Quran is the kalam of Allah, غير مخلوق. It's not a part of the makhluk. This is the speech of Allah. It has always been. There is no beginning or end to the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed it to the Luh al-Mahfuz. This is the first revelation. Then, in one night, in which night? The night of Laylatul Qadr. The Quran was revealed from Luh al-Mahfuz to the last sama, to the last sky, to Baytul Izzah, which is in the last sama. And the third stage of revelation later on is when the Quran was revealed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Jibreel alayhi salatu salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam over 23 years. There's these three. What is being referred to here is the second revelation, as Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma describes. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you and asks me, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Laylatul Qadr? وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا Laylatul Qadr? What do you know? And this is مع تعجب, يعني to show the greatness and amazement of something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not really asking you. Keep your opinion to yourself. Allah knows better. But He's grabbing your attention. He's showing you the importance of what is to come, which is Laylatul Qadr. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr. Laylatul Qadr is better than 1,000 months. Subhanallah. When we look at a month of ibadah, it's a big deal. And if you spend this month of Ramadan strictly in ibadah, the whole Ramadan, you didn't work, you took off from work, all day when you were fasting, you were also making salah and giving sadaqah and just making dua. You spent the whole month in ibadah, it would be difficult. And we have to work, many of us, we have family, we have other issues to deal with. To spend the whole month, not just the 10 nights, the whole month only in ibadah is difficult. Imagine 1,000 months. In fact, you won't most likely even hit 1,000 months of ibadah in your lifetime. Why? What is the average lifetime for a person in America? About 70, 73 years. Yani around the world, some places 50 years, 40 years, the average lifespan. But 1,000 months come out to be 83 years and 4 months. Even if you lived 83 years, 84 years, you were a child for a part of that. When you were 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, what ibadah were you doing? So that means we have an opportunity here in one night to take more reward and get more thawab than even if we spent our entire life in ibadah. What a valuable night. How can we spend this night gossiping? How can we waste this night in hookah bars and sitting and wasting time watching TV? And in the Muslim lands, some of the best TV shows that are at night in Ramadan, so people can waste that valuable night. Imagine 83 years and 4 months of straight ibadah. None of us can do it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us that reward in one night. What a beautiful thing. In fact, many of the ulama of tafseer, they said alf here is to show the greatest number possible. Like we are taking it a very numerical, 83 years and 4 months. But you know what's the highest number in the Arabic language in classic Arabic? Alf. And you can look in the books, when Imam Ahmad memorized 1,000,000 hadith, they didn't have a number, they said alf, 1,000. And they would put mudaf with it, ashara alf, but alf was the biggest number. They didn't have million, like today we made up million for million. So it means, as many of the ulama of tafsir have said, that this is actually unaccountable. It's the highest number that could have been revealed. When we look at this, we ask ourselves a question. When is Laylatul Qadr? Because everybody wants this. Every Muslim, even with the weakest of Iman, if you tell them this, they will want it. They will want to spend this whole night in ibadah. For this, I spent a lot of time looking in the books of Hadith and Tafsir, and I found aqwal from Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma showing the 21st and 23rd and 27th. I found from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam marfu' hadith where he would say that this was like the alamat, the signs of Laylatul Qadr, and it would be the 25th. Another hadith about when the Torah and Injil would reveal, when the Quran. And there were contradictory numbers. And some of the ulama took one, they said more aqwal for this. But the correct opinion, after a lot of research and thinking and pondering and looking at the books of ulama, as Shaykh al-Islam Taqiyuddin and others have pointed out, is that it is not the same night every year. Why? Because on different nights, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would say, last night was Laylatul Qadr. That means it switches. And that is a hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you don't just say, okay, 27th night, we're going to make ibadah, the rest of the year I'm taking off. No. When is it some of the people we see khutbah about some ulama saying maybe it's out of Ramadan? That's wrong. Why? Because we know it is in Laylatul Qadr when the Quran was revealed. And we know from the Quran that it was revealed in Ramadan. And we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us that Laylatul Qadr is in Ramadan in the last 10 nights, in the odd last 10 nights. So from the 21st to the 29th, it's going to be one of these nights. And that means we need to strive hard in ibadah every one of these nights. So we don't miss such a reward. Because we don't know when it will be exactly. But we do know it is in Ramadan, it is in the last 10 nights, and the odd last 10 nights. So every one of us should make an intention that we will not miss the 83 years and 4 months and more of reward by missing this night, by sleeping through it, or arguing and sitting and TV and soccer and useless things that will not help us in the akhirah, that we will benefit from this night, inshallah ta'ala. Wa jazakumullahu khairan.